Bill believed in achieving his goals through hard work. He also believes that if you are intelligent and know how to use your intelligence, you can reach your goals and targets. Bill Gates and his close friend Alan formed a new company of their own, Trafo Data. They developed a small computer to measure traffic flow. From this project they earned around $20,000. Gates and his friend Paul Allen remained in close contact even though they were away from school. They would often discuss new ideas for future projects and the possibility of starting a business one fine day. At the end of Bill's first year, Allen came close to him so that they could follow some of their ideas. Within a year, Bill Gates dropped out from Harvard. Then he formed Microsoft. Microsoft's vision is a computer on every desk and Microsoft software on every computer. Bill is a visionary person and works very hard. He does not believe in mere luck or God's grace, but just hard work and competitiveness. The son of a railroad worker and a maid, Amancio Ortega received no formal higher education. He began his remarkable career as a teenager in La Coruña, Spain, the traditional center of the Iberian textile industry. When he was 13 years old he worked as a delivery boy for a shirt maker who produced clothing for the rich. He later worked as a draper's and tailor's assistant. In the early 1960s Ortega became the manager of a local clothing shop, where he noticed that only a few wealthy residents could afford to buy the expensive clothes. Thus he started producing similar items at lower prices, purchasing cheaper fabric in Barcelona and cutting out pieces by hand using cardboard patterns. Ortega then sold his items to local shops. He used the profits to start his first factory in 1963 at the age of 27. In 1975 Ortega opened his first Zara shop across the street from La Coruña's most important department store. He would become renowned for choosing the best locations for his outlets. By 1989, Ortega had opened nearly 100 stores in Spain. His start in life was tough to say the least. Unwanted by his biological parents, he was given up for adoption. Steve was aware that it took all of his adoptive parents' savings to get him into college. He quit because of the expense, trusting there was a different path for him. Instead he attended drop-in classes in topics he liked while sleeping on a friend's dorm floor. Low on finances, he described his one free good meal a week as coming from the local Hare Krishna Center. Together with Steve Wozniak, Jobs started a company in a garage on April 1, 1976. The release of Apple I later that year was the start of the meteoric rise of Apple Incorporated. The humble beginnings of Apple grew to become a $2 billion company with thousands of employees. 1 year after the Mac's introduction, Steve Jobs was ousted from Apple. Disagreements between the co-founders resulted in the board of directors siding with Steve Wozniak and firing Steve Jobs from his own company. Steve Jobs, in his speech at Stanford University 2005, said, "I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Jobs turned adversity into opportunity and focused on his two new ventures, Next and Pixar. He eventually returned to Apple to make it even bigger than before. He was a survivor of pancreatic cancer until it returned to claim his life in 2011. Jobs clearly accomplished so much with so little despite stresses that presented in his life. The important message: Jack Ma is the founder of Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba with a net worth of $22.40 billion. While we know him now for all his major successes, Ma's life has actually been riddled with failure. He failed his exit exams multiple times in elementary and middle school. When he was applying for college, He failed his entrance exams 3 times before being accepted into Hangzhou University. He even applied to Harvard 10 times. But he was rejected after every single attempt. When KFC came to China, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only guy who wasn't, he told Bloomberg. Ma allegedly started 2 business ventures that ultimately failed. But that didn't stop him from continuing to try. Ma went on to create Alibaba in 1999 with a group of friends, but failed to find major funding in Silicon Valley. They said that he was running an unprofitable business model. For the first 3 years, we made 0 revenue. I remember many times when I was trying to pay up,